Today I'm trying a recipe for Christmas MAPLEY appetizers from Cohasset Entertains. If you'd like to try this recipe for yourself, it's written in the description underneath this video. And if you'd like to go straight to the cooking portion, you can skip ahead to this timestamp. This book was first printed in 1978. I have the fourth printing from 1982, and this was given to me by my friends Caitlin and Luke. Thanks. This book is a community cookbook. So I think a lot of us are familiar with community cookbooks, but if you aren't, it's basically a book where maybe like an organization or a group, could be a church, could be a garden club like this book. The members of that organization or group get together and they all kind of pool their best or most favorite recipes and compile them into a book. These are often used for fundraisers, with the proceeds going to support said church, community group, PTA, what have you. And sometimes families get together and make these as well. My husband's family has one of these. It's got all of the family recipes in it, all of the family secret recipes. Truth be told, I used to overlook these community cookbooks. I know, how could I? A lot of times I just kind of wrote them off. They don't usually have a lot of like illustrations or anything like that. But a few years back, I started giving them a second look when I would find them in thrift stores. One of the reasons I really enjoy collecting cookbooks is that it's this interesting tie to our past. I think you can tell a lot about what was going on at a time if you look at the cookbooks and you try some of the recipes. Like an easy one to sort of pinpoint is if you look at cookbooks from World War II, a lot of those are very much about rationing, being really conservative with your ingredients, using what you have. And I think that community cookbooks actually take this a little bit further because you can also kind of tell what is going on regionally. When I started looking at community cookbooks again, often I would look for books that were published in an area that I, didn't grow up in or that I wasn't from. So I did pick up a few community cookbooks when I lived in California, and that was super interesting. You get to know like different dishes, just stuff that's different from what you would normally have. So this particular book is actually from Cohasset, Massachusetts, a place that, I haven't even visited. So this comes to us from the Community Garden Club of Cohasset. And it also comes with a lovely inscription. You know how I love it when people write things in cookbooks. It says, Christmas 1982, to the most entertaining mom in the world. Love, Joel and Mary, a taste of home in Cohasset. And this says, the proceeds from the sale of this cookbook will allow the Community Garden Club of Cohasset to continue to support projects concerned with beautification, conservation, and education at local and state levels, and hopefully to expand its areas of involvement. So yes, this one was indeed part of a fundraising campaign. So this book is actually divided into 4 seasons. So we've got our summer section. I think these are like hand-drawn illustrations, maybe by one of the club members. I'm not absolutely certain, but I wouldn't be surprised. Autumn. Wait, did I miss spring? I think I missed spring. Spring was first. Spring was first. So we do have a spring right here. Got a list of like everybody who worked on this cookbook together and what they did. Everybody gets credit. It takes a lot of work and a lot of people to put this together. Maybe it's easier nowadays. I know there are companies that still make these types of books, but back in the day, I even have some community cookbooks where someone had to like hand type them. So that would be a lot of work. Oh yes, okay. So the cover and divider artwork was by Barbara Steele. Barbara, you did a lovely job. So I'm gonna focus on the winter section because that's where my recipe is. It's more than recipes. There's more than recipes in here. Each section has a flower arrangement that you can use for your centerpiece. I thought this was super clever, especially because it's from a garden club. Yeah, someone came up with each one of these. So this one is from Tish Grinnell, and it is a candle holder arrangement for a winter dining table, and it has step-by-step instructions. It has like a hand-drawn kind of like illustration on different things that you can do. And then in addition to those flower arrangements, you have menus. This is like a one-stop entertaining shop, basically. It's got everything, and it's got your recipes to execute these menus. This is kind of funny. I don't know if a member wrote these or what, but I wanted to do a little bit of a dramatic reading of a section of the winter intro. Winter in Cohasset, like winter throughout New England, often seems unending. The mournful cry of the foghorn punctuates many a dark Cohasset morning. That's dark. That is some dark stuff. I get it though. I mean, winter in Ohio, it's not even technically winter, but it's pretty gray looking outside. We had a lot of fog. We don't have any foghorns though. Anyway, So I chose the winter section of this book because, of course, it has the most Christmas recipes. And I'm going to be making Christmas mapley appetizers. I've been doing a lot of sweet stuff lately, like cookies and things like that. So I wanted something that was more of a savory item, but then I looked at this and there's a lot of sweet stuff in it. So I'm still doing a sweet recipe basically, but it's more of an appetizer than it is like a cookie or dessert. I started by opening a small can of pineapple chunks and draining it. And you want to go ahead and set the syrup aside because it is going to be part of your sauce. Then I cut half of a green bell pepper up into approximately 3/4 inch squares. I didn't measure them. Next, I browned my brown and serve sausage. I was only able to get a hold of the turkey variety of brown and serve sausage. The original full recipe says 2 boxes of brown and serve sausage, 8 ounces each. Packages are now 6.4 ounces, so I had to buy 2 boxes and just kind of weigh them and figure it out. But go ahead and brown your sausages according to package directions. Let them cool for just a little bit and then cut them into thirds. And that brings us to this point in the recipe. So I'm blending 2 teaspoons of cornstarch with the pineapple juice that I set aside earlier, 1/4 cup of maple syrup. This is real maple syrup. I'm guessing you could probably use the other kind as well if you wanted. It doesn't say. A little under 1.5 ounces of water and a little under 1.5 ounces of vinegar. It doesn't say what type, so I just used white vinegar. So go ahead and blend all of that together. You can see the cornstarch in there. You want to try to get those lumps out as much as you can. So then you want to put this mixture into a saucepan, and then it says heat to boiling. So I'm just going to do like a medium heat, stirring constantly. And I'm going to use a whisk just to break up any additional cornstarch lumps. One thing I forgot to point out, this recipe comes to us from Tish Jordan. Tish, if you are still out there, I'll let you know how this turns out for me. I think we have come to a boil, or we're starting to. Oh yeah, it's getting there, okay. So once we've come to a boil and we're thickened up here, we're adding the brown and serve sausages. I'm gonna take that down just a little bit, it's getting excited here. Then our green pepper chunks. The pineapple chunks that I drained earlier go in there. And finally, the pièce de résistance. I've got 1/4 cup of maraschino cherries. I got the gigantic ones because I thought they were beautiful. The Royalette salad cherries, but I probably should have gotten the small ones. I wasn't really thinking. I could have cut these big ones in half, but I just didn't want to. This is a mixture. Yes, it is. So now that we've got all of this combined, I'm going to cook this for 5 minutes, and then it's time to give it a taste. Okay, but can you handle the fanciness? Really? Tish, you've outdone yourself. I am very excited because I get to use one of my little forks. They even say little fork on them. This smells a lot like the sauce from like pineapple chicken from Chinese takeout. I mean, it's probably basically the same thing. Pineapple juice, vinegar, and cornstarch. The cherries ended up breaking down a little bit, which is kind of disappointing. If you're gonna make this, just get the little ones. Like, don't bother with the gigantic salad cherries, as pretty as they are. Pretty much all of this stuff was like pre-cooked really, except for the green peppers. So that 5 minutes of cook time is really, I think, to just warm everything up and cook those green peppers a little. There's many components to this, so I'm gonna have to give this several tastes. Let's start with a sausage because that is what we have the most of in here. This is probably the first thing people would go for anyway. It's brown and served turkey sausage with a sweet sauce, which isn't bad. I like it. I wouldn't say no to it. Let's go for a pineapple. So pineapple is my favorite fruit anyway. I approve. I'm gonna save the cherry for last. I'm gonna get a little piece of green pepper. It's like very saucy. It's still pretty crunchy. I don't mind crunchy green pepper. I think I would have cooked it maybe just like a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer, but pretty tasty if you like green peppers. And finally, one of the cherries. I love maraschino cherries. They're kind of ridiculous, but very tasty in this combo of things. I think the main event is supposed to be the sausage, but the other components are also a lot of fun and pretty tasty. This is definitely something a little bit different. And you get to use your tiny forks with it, so come on. I feel like I would see this like on a grand like holiday buffet with a chafing dish. If you love vintage holiday recipes like I do, I have an entire playlist and I will link it in the description down below. I hope you liked this video. I have been having so much fun making this Christmas content for you. If you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I post videos about food, vintage cookbooks, and retro recipes every week. Thanks again, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!